Miguel Adarati back here at the IBOT Vault, so we're going to go ahead and bust out with some boxing here. As usual, first of all, the boxing schedule, especially with the Premier Boxing Champions telecast, the boxing schedule has just gone through the ceiling here. There's a lot of boxing action up. The books have put up some new lines over the last couple of days, the last 24 hours basically. 4 fights this weekend, June 20th and 21st. 21st is Sunday, and that's what I'm talking about with the Premier Boxing Champions. The Premier Boxing Champions already on Saturday featuring Adrian Broner and Sean Porter. We discussed those odds at a different podcast. They added a line at the books for the Saturday event, and it's for one of the undercard fights, a bit of a crush fight. Big favorite at the lightweight is Robert Easter. He's at minus 2,600, and facing Miguel Angel Mendoza, who's at plus 1,200. But what's interesting about Premier Boxing Champions is they're staying right where they are at the MGM Grand Arena and going on Sunday as well. On Sunday, they've got a remarkable broadcast that will be airing on CBS in the United States at around 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is very interesting. You know, afternoon boxing, you sort of remember that as a kid and stuff. And they're trying things on Sunday, Saturday. They've broadcast on Thursdays and Fridays. So they're really experimenting with the Premier Boxing Champions. The Sunday card is headlined by Ronce Barthelemy at minus 530, facing veteran Antonio DeMarco, who's at plus 350. There's a welterweight bout on there too. Wally Omotoso at plus 255, facing Sammy Vasquez, minus 365. Heading back to Friday at the Bell Center in Canada, Montreal, you've obviously got the David Lemieux, Hassan Nikjam fight as the main event there. The books have gone ahead and added a couple of lines for that card as well. In support of the main event, they've got the lightweight bout between Michel Foucault. He's at plus 3,000, facing Gislam Maduma, who's at minus 11,000. The other fight's an equally huge line. Heavyweight, Luis Ortiz, big favorite, minus 11,000, facing Byron Poli, plus 3,000. So a couple of crush fights added at the books for the Montreal show. Then heading over to Europe, we've got some action coming up at the books over there. Notably in Poland on Friday, the 19th, is the return of Mariusz Wach. He's at minus 8,200, facing Konstantin Iric at plus 2,600. Wach, 30-1. Go back a couple years, he gave Klitschko a decent run. I mean, he lost the fight by a wide margin at the judges, but he did extend him the full fight. And he was inactive for a little bit after that fight. He's been coming back. Iric, a veteran, but he's been, I think he's like 2-6 in his last 8 fights. So you get an idea when the level of his opponents go up, Iric starts to fade a little bit. And Wach considers him, he's already fought his way to a world title shot at one point. He wants to do that again. So I think Wach is a guy to look at. Heading down to Italy, you've got the EBU title on the line there. The middleweight title is vacant right now. It was the title Britain's Billy Joe Saunders had. You got Michel Soro, minus 260, facing Emmanuel Blandamura, who's at plus 180. Blandamura, the Italian. Soro, many people remember just last month in May, he beat Glenn Tapia. So he goes back to Europe. He's from France. He goes back to Europe and goes right into a European title fight. Blandamura's only loss is to Billy Joe Saunders. He was looking to get this title, and now Saunders has vacated it, and he gets a second chance at it. And the last match, kind of a crush match up in Denmark. You got the WBA's international title at super middleweight on the line. You got Denmark. He's 24 years old. Patrick Nielsen, 25-1 record. He's at minus 2,600. The only time he's lost is to Dmitry Chudinov, going for an interim world title. So at this level, going for the international title, Nielsen's a huge favorite. He's facing Charles Adamu, plus 1,200 for Adamu. He's got losses to good fighters. He's been in there with good fighters. Nielsen wants to establish himself as one of those guys on the list that beat him. He's fought guys like Isaac Chilemba, Carl Frost, George Groves. So that's a fight that you want to watch and see if Nielsen steps up, gets the WBA international belt, probably a world title shot after that. Anyway, that is the latest odds that have popped up on boxing, and we'll talk to you after the fights.